Hey everybody, welcome back to my videos. My name is McGrew, and today I'm going to come to you with a little bit of a video about five things to think about when using your skid steers, mini skids, tracked vehicles or whatever in less than ideal conditions. So I wish I had some footage yesterday. I didn't think about it at the time, but I had a situation where the stump grinder was on a slope. It was snow covered, starting to melt, and there were some exposed roots. And what happened was it got stuck. There was a fence right behind me, so it could have been less than an ideal situation. So it got me thinking about what I do when I'm using this kind of equipment and what you might want to do as well. So here are 5 tips. One, slow down, think about what's going on, don't overreact. Make sure that whatever situation you're in, you get it to a point where it can be managed so that you can evaluate it better. So if that includes, putting the bucket down or the head of the stump grinder or the claw on the skid steer, whatever you're using, Mini X, same thing, you can stabilize it and you can evaluate better. 2 is that don't keep fighting a bad situation. It'll just make it worse. Once again, stop and figure out a different way if that's not working. 3, never underestimate the value of the hydraulic components of your system. So don't forget, these things are rated at pretty high strength rates, pressure, power, whatever you want to call it, or however you want to evaluate it for this use. In the case yesterday, what I did is I ended up taking the stump grinder, and I put the head down. I turned it 90 degrees, put the head down, pushed down to lift up the front of the tracks, spun the head, and at the same time started working the tracks, and it got me over the root that was the roots, I should say, that had me trapped. And it gave enough pressure on the back of the tracks that the track wasn't slipping on the root anymore, and it pulled itself over. So yeah, 3, never underestimate the hydraulic components of it. 4, don't forget to use the tracks in conjunction sometimes if you're in a situation with the hydraulic components, the buckets, claws, whatever it might be, articulating arms, even outriggers if you have them on like a backhoe or something like that, or whatnot. And then the 5th is something that we should all know, but sometimes we are in a rush and we don't think about it. We don't analyze it enough, I don't think. And I've been in fault of doing the same thing. Don't forget that if conditions are too bad, even though it's a hydraulic and machine, it's got tracks and it can run across snow or mud or whatever it might be, the fact of the matter is that sometimes it's better just to reschedule the job. It'll be safer. It'll keep wear and tear down on the equipment or potentially breaking it. It'll avoid that. So if it's really too bad, if you're trying to get a mini skid or a Mini X down a very steep driveway that's covered in ice, yeah, it might back you up, but it may just be the wise thing to reschedule the job to a different day. Don't risk flipping the equipment or running into other valuable property or hurting an employee or a contractor, subcontractor, whatever, just because you want to get the job done. Yeah, it can be a challenge at times, but definitely don't forget that equipment can cost you a lot more to repair than what you might have made getting the job done. So don't ever underestimate the value of just rescheduling. you know, if you explain it in a kind way, most clients will be understanding. They understand inclement weather and things like that. It's a little different if you promise to do the job already knowing the condition. So try to avoid promising jobs that are going to put you in that position. But if inclement weather like this 5 inches of snow fell around us and it was not real sure that it was going to occur, some said it was, some said it wasn't, we didn't know, and I bid this job weeks before, so I didn't know. You know, if that kind of situation occurs, in this case I could do the job, but sometimes you can't. Just explain and, you know, put it off to another date. And just a bonus tip here, most of you should know this if you're running equipment, but if you're renting equipment that's hydraulic and you're not familiar with hydraulic equipment and motorized equipment, never underestimate the value of letting your equipment warm up. So chainsaws, chippers, in this case stump grinder, mini skids, skid steers, mini X's, but this equipment needs to warm up. It needs to run for a little bit at idle, and it needs to have time to get the hydraulic fluid going and things to give you your power that you need. If you don't do that, you could get yourself in some serious trouble. So just a couple of tips I think that can help you guys out. Many of you probably already know this stuff, but in case you haven't thought about it all the way through, or maybe you knew some of the tips but not all, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. So thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Eric with Eric's Tree Service. I'm so glad to have so many new subscribers. Please don't forget to check the description for all the links. And don't forget to check out my Elevated Office podcast. You can check that out at anchor.fm or any of your podcast distributors. And I will see you guys in the next one.